Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 1 early Vegas spread picks. You guys asked for it. I'm back. It's been a long off season. I really miss you guys. I really miss getting this money. Leave a comment. I respond to everyone. We're doing this May 20th, so a lot can change. Let's get to the first game, and we're going to do a channel update at the end of the video so I can tell you guys what's going on. First game, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Cowboys +7. I got the Cowboys to cover, Eagles to win. I mean, we know the Eagles are an absolute juggernaut. Let's just go with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys can cover this game. I think this is a complicated spot for the Eagles. And I actually don't hate the Cowboys off season. I didn't hate the draft, and I didn't hate the Schottenheimer hire. I know the Schottenheimer hire was, it's easy. It was a little bit lazy. It did lack a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of boom when you get a new coach. But honestly, man, if he was a part of the game plan the last 6-7 weeks that we saw on offense from the Cowboys, I can vibe with it. They were able to run the ball, which is a big issue, and one of the issues I think that the Cowboys have going into this season. Can the young offensive line get better? I mean, their running back room is the worst in the NFL. But other than that, I think the Cowboys have a bounce back year on defense, and I think they can make this complicated for Hurts and the Eagles offense. There's not a lot of science, obviously. I do like the Cowboys adding Pickens. Finally, CD Lamb gets a little bit of help. I did think CD Lamb was the best receiver last year, as crazy as that sounds. I do think this Cowboys team is poised for a little bit of a bounce back. I know it's fun to kick the Cowboys when they're down. And obviously the Eagles could blow them out. The Eagles want to. But there are some questions about the Eagles. Kellen Moore's not going to be the offensive coordinator again. We did see Hurts. I don't think that was even close to Hurts' best football. You can look at that as a positive for the Eagles or a negative. We did see this Eagles offense stutter at times, and like I said, I think this Dallas defense has a bounce back year. I got the Eagles to win, Cowboys to cover. You guys know there's not a lot of science with that one. Next game, we're going to Brazil. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chiefs -2.5. A borderline money pick for the Chiefs. I mean, obviously, we don't want to do this. We don't want to hit this ticket. I don't like what the Chargers did this offseason. And the Chargers were an absolute gravy train for us last year because we knew when to get off. We know when to get off that caboose, and we watched that train crash. And it crashed epically against the Texans, and it stuttered near the end of the year. I don't like what the Chargers did this offseason. You lose Poona Ford. You lose Bosa. What did they bring in? You bring in Najee Harris at running back. You draft a running back. And then we all were saying last year, can we give Herbert a dog on the outside? We get Mike Williams when Mike Williams is in his 30s. And if you cough on him, the guy can be on the DL for 3, 4, 5 weeks. I mean, there's just not, I don't like what the Chargers did, man. And Rashee Rice coming back for the Chiefs. Chiefs had a good draft. Chiefs winning the cover. It's just really kind of disgusted with the Chargers front office. I mean, maybe there's something in the die roll. Maybe there's something coming. Maybe there's a Tyreek Hill trade. I just doubt it with the Chargers, and I'm just not in love with the way they're building this team. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets. Steelers -3. Money, money, money. Okay, calm. The money pick is on the under 39.5. That's where the money pick is, and you'll understand why I'm vibing that direction. We were terrific with totals last year, by the way. I think the Jets win in the cover and an upset. Listen, we can assume Aaron the Game Rodgers is going to the Steelers. And I want to apologize last year for everyone. I did glaze Aaron Rodgers a lot. And I do think he played pretty good down the stretch the last 6, 7, 8 games of the year. I felt like he was actually very good at times. But yeah, man, I'm just not liking what's going on in the composition of the Steelers roster. Is the defense elite? I don't think so. But they spend elite money on defense. Is the offensive line good? It's absolutely terrible. Do they have a lot of weapons at wide receiver? No. I love the DK Metcalf bringing him in. But you're already seeing Aaron Rodgers. He's not really into it. He's not in OTAs. He's not going to have continuity. We're going to see a type of ragged performance to start the year from the Steelers like we did last year with the Jets. I'm just not in love with the Steelers offense. Even if Rodgers comes in and plays good, I'm not in love with it. I think there's structural issues with the Steelers franchise that no one really has the courage to address. And you go into the Jets and we talk about structural issues. Hell, they have a ton. They're the blueprint. They're the baby. They're the Browns. They're what we call a dumpster fire. But I think bringing in Aaron Glenn adds a little bit of stability. It adds a little bit of discipline that this team sorely lacked. And I think adding Fields is a good stopgap. I think the Jets will be able to move the ball just enough in this game to win. And I see a big bounce back year coming back from the Jets defense. Another thing about Aaron Glenn, I know when he started the first 2 years with the Detroit defense were rough. They were. But he just didn't have the talent. He had bottom 5 talent. He's not walking into that situation. And I don't know why everyone's undercounting this Jets defense. Will McDonald is walking back into play here, and he's an absolute dog. I think the Jets will have a very good pass rush this year. They had lots of injuries on the D-line. I think the Jets win this game, and I think it's going to be an absolute terrible game to watch. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts minus 1.5. I mean, this one is just a pure coin flip. I'm going Miami to win in the cover, but who's had a worse offseason than Miami? You can't really name too many teams. And I love what the Colts did at secondary-wise, and I actually like them bringing in Daniel Jones. But the reason why I can't go with the Colts to win this game is because I think they're going to persist and start Anthony Richardson, and I think that's a big liability in this league. The guy just isn't professional, and he simply isn't good enough or accurate enough. And I do think, man, I know the Finns can't block. I know the Colts keep investing in that front four. But I don't know if the Colts are going to get pressure. And then you got Tua. You still got Tyreek. You still got Jalen Waddle. I do think the Finns will be able to throw it on them. Give me the Finns to win in the cover. You guys know what this is like. But I'm actually pretty bullish on the Colts this year if they just go with Daniel Jones. But I don't think they're going to have the courage to do that. Not saying Daniel Jones is good or anything like that. But, I mean, he's better than Anthony Richardson. I'm kind of bullish on the Colts, all things considered. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jags. Panthers plus 2.5. Really tough game to cap. As of right now, I'm going with the Jags. But I think this game comes down to, can Bryce Young play well? Is this wide receiving core going to gel? Because when I look at this Jags secondary, it might be worse than the Colts secondary was going into the season last year. And I think there's serious issues in the slot. Jags did get good secondary play in the slot last year, but they're moving him to the outside. And there's no weaker safety core in this league. So I think Bryce Young could absolutely cook with Thielen in the slot. But I do think there's going to be a little bit of a bounce back performance from Trevor Lawrence. I'm not sold on Liam Cohen, and obviously I trust Canales more than Cohen at this moment. but I trust Trevor Lawrence more than Bryce Young. I'm going Trevor Lawrence and the Jags in this game. No science, and everyone loves the Panthers offseason, but, it is pretty easy when you got like 12 draft picks and tons of money to spend. Next game, we got the New York Giants. They won the offseason Super Bowl at the Washington No Names -7. Money. No Names winning the cover -7. Make it a damn money pick. Man, I love getting against the Giants. And we did it all year last year, yet I got pushback from the audience. And my audience is very, very smart. That was one thing that was bothering me the whole year last year. I'm sure me glazing Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields bothered you guys, but a lot of the stuff you guys were pushing about the Giants up until week 11 bothered me. I'm sorry, guys. I have to be honest. I'm not talking to everyone, but it did bother me. And another thing that bothered me was people glazing the Giants after this draft. Like, we forgot Joe Schoen is leading this ship. Like, we forgot last year's Hard Knocks. Like, we forgot Saquon Barkley absolutely tearing up the league. And Joe Schoen saying thanks, but no thanks. I just don't like the short-term memory. And here's another memory. I know we should be talking about the matchups. Here's another memory. Whenever a team has 2 first-round draft picks, everyone says it's a great draft. It's an A. This Giants draft reminds me of when the Browns got Brandon Weeden 22nd or 23rd and picked Trent Richardson in the top 10. I'm not saying I'm not saying the defensive end are going to be bust. I'm just saying let's take a deep breath and understand this is the Giants, and rookies don't have as big as an impact that people think. And it's going to be Russell Wilson, and it's going to be against Jaden Daniels. And you add Laramie Tunsil to this mix. You add Deebo Samuel, who has a lot to prove. You add another year of Dan Quinn cooking. You add another year of Cliff Kingsbury being a top 5 play caller in the league. Give me the No Names -7, winning the cover, make it a damn money pick. And I love Dayball too. I absolutely love Brian Dayball. It's just this Giants team has serious issues. Like, look at their secondary. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. Bengals -5.5. Bengals win, Browns cover. I mean, no science. Who's going to play quarterback for the Browns? But also, are the Bengals going to be ready? Remember how Mickey Mouse they were going into week 1 last year? I mean, we're already seeing the stuff with Trey Hendrickson. We're already seeing the thing with the 2 rookies who they need on the defensive line. They won't practice because the Bengals are the only team in the league who won't give them like an injury write-off. I mean, you just don't know if the Bengals are going to be ready for it. And I actually kind of feel bad for the Bengals on the Hendrickson thing. But obviously they need to get that defense solved, and I'm not sure it's going to get solved. I know they got rid of the defensive coordinator. I don't think that's going to help. Give me the Bengals to win, Browns to cover. There's too much in flux with both of these franchises. I think one thing people are forgetting to talk about with the Browns is just how bad this offensive line is. I'm worried about it. It was really bad last year. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders, Geno, at the New England Patriots. Raiders +3. This is tough. I'm going to go Patriots to win in the cover, but based on Vrabel and Drake May vibes alone. But I think the pivotal matchup in this game, I know the Patriots drafted a left tackle. The kid from LSU, he looks good. But I think the pivotal matchup in this game is the Raiders' defensive line that I think is top 5 in the league, as crazy as that sounds, against a Patriots team offensive line that's bottom 5 in the league. And I know it didn't matter a lot because Drake May was so phenomenal last year, but you have to block people. and they didn't block anyone last year. And I know the Patriots defense is going to get a little bit of boost, but there's still serious talent deficits on this team. And I didn't like the free agency as much as other people. Give me the Raiders to win this game. I'm going to go Raiders. Because I'm really trying to break it down matchup to matchup. Obviously, right now, it just seems like, Vrabel boost. Patriots are going to be good, and I do think the Patriots are going to be a hell of a lot better. But, I mean, they're favored in like 11 games this year. I think that's too much, and I think this Raiders team's going to be ready to compete, and I think they're going to be able to run the ball. I didn't like them getting rid of Nate Hobbs, or I understood the Moring getting rid of him and Spillane. I mean, you don't want to overpay, but I really got bothered by the Raiders overlooking Nate Hobbs. But give me the Raiders to win in the cover and in an upset. Pete Carroll's going to have these boys game. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the New Orleans Saints. Zona -4, and I get the fundamentals. I already saw people talking about it on Patreon. Because, I mean, I'm on some books, it's Saints +4.5, even up to +5. I picked the 4 because that's on a lot of books as well. I get it. The fundamentals say you go with the Saints at home here to at least cover. Zona doesn't travel well. Kyle Murray has struggled at times, and the Saints defense will still put up a fight and try to battle. But I love what the Zona Cardinals did this offseason. You bring in Josh Sweat there. You bring in other defensive linemen. And one thing people seem to forget, Zona has absolutely added nothing on defense the first 2 years of John Gannon. They finally addressed that. And I think if you give John Gannon, if you finally give him some investment on defense, this defense can be very good. And I'm just not high on Tyler Slow. I'm not. I wasn't high on the Saints last year. I'm not high on them this year. Zona wins and cover with the -4. I get the fundamentals. I get Zona traveling is an absolute disaster. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Bucs at the Atlanta Falcons. Bucs -2.5. Bucs to win in the cover. Listen, this Bucs offense was an absolute train last year, and I don't see that stopping with Liam Cohen going. I'm maybe starting to think maybe it's just more the talent the Bucs have on offense than it was Canales, than it was Liam Cohen. Although I felt like Cohen was absolutely magisterial last year with the play calling. I'm worried about the Bucs defense, but I'm also worried about Atlanta in a wide variety of areas. I'm not sure they can pass block. It does seem like the offensive line, even though they're physical and bullish, it does seem like they're on the downswing. They're not as good as they were with Artie Smith at running the ball and creating those run lanes. And I worry about Raheem Morris. I worry about this defense. They didn't cover anyone last year. Maybe they'll get a better pass rush this year. They certainly made a little bit of an investment, but I'm not sure I'm sold on Atlanta bouncing back. I'm worried about some of the conditions I'm seeing on this roster. I'm going Bucs winning the cover. I mean, this obviously isn't a game you should be betting. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Denver Broncos. Broncos -7.5. I got the Titans to cover, Broncos to win. I'm sure most of you guys will be going Broncos to win in the cover. I mean, that 7.5 is just a bit too much for me. And you got Cam Ward on the Titans now, and I think that's intriguing. Although the Titans couldn't block anyone last year, so I'm not sure how that got better, and I'm not sure enough was done to address it. I also think this Titans defense is decaying. And my big issue with the Titans is Callahan. I know he got a free pass. I know people like Antonio Pierce, they get all the hate. And I know there's easier targets in this league. There's bigger markets. There's sexier names that get clicks. but Brian Callahan was the worst head coach last year. So if you go Broncos and you bet Broncos big, I completely understand it. I mean, Broncos added more to a defense that was strong and nasty. And this Broncos defense is just also very well coordinated in this game. And you look at these two coaches, you look at the two offensive minds, if we want to call Brian Callahan a mind. You got Sean Payton, the top 5 offensive mind, versus Callahan, who his dad's a great offensive line coach, so you think the offensive line is going to get better. Actually gets worse with him. This is a really coaching mismatch here. I'm going Titans to cover, Broncos to win. And listen, my voice isn't used to it, bros. I haven't been in the swing of things. You can tell I'm on off-season mode with my voice. Jesus, I'm losing it. Broncos win, Titans cover. Listen, it is what it is. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. 49ers minus 1.5. Money, borderline. Don't go overboard with this. Listen, man. The 49ers are in a restructuring. They're in a mini rebuild. What are the Seahawks? Are they going for it? Are they on a rebuild? You pay big money to Sam Darnold, yet you trade DK Metcalf. I know Sam Darnold doesn't have a contract for a long time, but one thing with the Seahawks is they were really bad at pass blocking last year. And Sam Darnold is the type of guy who needs everything perfect around him. And I'm just not seeing that happening. And I think Saleh, back at defensive coordinator, gives this 49ers defense a little bit of boost. Warner's still there. Bosa's still there. There's still talent on this 49ers defense. And I'm not high on the 49ers going into this year, but I'm absolutely bullish about them when we talk about this spot. The Seahawks offense offseason was really perplexing to me. And I can't say I understand it, and I can't say I like Mike Macdonald's coaching in that first year, although he did course correct, and he started to get that defense playing well. What was it, like week 7, week 8, they finally started playing some defense. Even with that being said, I think the 49ers are better coached. The 49ers have better players. They have more talent. 49ers to win in the cover, make it a money pick. Ayuk should be back week 1, right? So I think that'll help drastically. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, at the Green Bay Packers. Lions -1. I got the Lions to win in the cover. We weren't high on the Packers last year like everyone else, and we were proven right. Everyone was bullish on the Packers, and I'm not. And I'm not going into this year. I think they have serious structural problems. I know they're a young roster. I know they have a lot of interesting young players, but I'm not sure Jordan Love is any good. I'm not saying he stinks, but, people throw stones at Dak Prescott a lot. But I think Dak Prescott's a lot better than Jordan Love. Not a lot better, but you guys get where I'm going with this. And also, these wide receivers were a big disappointment for the Packers last year. And yes, we know the Packers can run the ball, but we know Detroit is going to be healthy on the front four. The big issue why this spread is only -1 is because, listen, Detroit lost 2 great minds at offensive and defensive coordinator. But overall, this Detroit team is still a lot better. And I think we forgot how many defensive players, very good players like Aiden Hutchinson, McNeil, they missed a ton of time last year for Detroit. I think Detroit's defense takes control of this game, and that's the difference. Lions winning the cover, a healthy Lions team that we didn't see since week 8, week 9. No one got fucked with injuries worse than the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell. Next game, we got the Houston Texans at the Los Angeles Rams. Texans plus 2.5, 3, depends on the book. There's a lot of variance. I got the Rams to win in the cover. There's not a lot to say about this game. I have a huge question mark for the Texans offseason, obviously. I do wonder what they're going to do at offensive line. But I think the Texans have an elite defense. I think it's a top 5 defense in the league. So I want to be very, very cautious and wait to see the offensive line in the preseason game and see how they work together. I got the Rams to win in the cover as of right now. This one I don't have a lot to say about. Next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. Ravens plus 1.5. Ravens money pick. Not like yelling it from the rafters. But listen, I'm not coping here. And both of these rosters are very, very similar. So we don't really need to go into the offseason and how that correlates. But Baltimore absolutely dominated that AFC Championship game. And I know Baltimore turned the ball over. I know Mark Andrews just made 2 brutal errors. But turnovers are variance. And there is a little bit of luck in turnovers. And I just think this Baltimore team is better. I do think this Bills team has some issues. Like the defense was absolutely horrendous last year. And I'm not sure it's going to get better. And I'm not sure the Bills are going to get enough help for Josh Allen at wide receiver. I mean, unless Keon Coleman gets a lot better. I mean, like even a key contributor like Matt Collins, he left to the Patriots. And I know the Bills are going with a different formula. They don't need an elite receiver. Brandon Beane got snappy on the radio about that. But I do feel like this Bills team is missing a piece. You do like them adding Bosa. That defensive line was kind of anemic and kind of disappointing last year. The Bills' defensive line needs to be better. If their defensive line is better and can help the secondary with the pass rush, I'll definitely change my opinion about this game. But overall, I'm going with the Ravens in a revenge situation. I think the Ravens roll here, make it a money pick. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears. The Bears, Vikings plus 1.5. Bears winning the cover. We didn't fall for the Caleb Williams or the Bears hype going into last year. Congratulate yourself and me for that matter. But I got to tell you guys, Ben Johnson, Bears look like they have a very good offensive line. Yes, this offensive line is going to take some time to mesh. Yes, the Vikings made some very good moves on the offensive line. But I just think this Bears team is going to be an absolute fucking train with Ben Johnson. Now let's see how Ben Johnson does with the man management, the motivation, being able to get the best out of Caleb Williams, which obviously isn't easy. But with the way this Bears team is constructed, I got to tell you guys, on paper, you plug in Madden, you could see a formula. You could see a path for this team to steal the division. And I'm worried about my Vikings. I am. Because every year around week 8, week 9, the Vikings defense tailors off. And I know they added some more talent there, and Flores hasn't had, I know they keep adding a little bit more talent every year to the Vikings defense. But I do wonder, does that fall off just a wee bit, the Vikings defense? I also wonder, is J.J. McCarthy ready for this? Like, when I look at J.J. McCarthy, I get vibes more Christian Ponder than some of these Bulls we saw last year in the rookie quarterback class, like May, Daniels. Like, I just see more Christian Ponder. And I see more Jackson Dart and J.J. McCarthy than I see a fucking dog like May or Jaden Daniels. So I'm worried. Bears winning the cover. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. All right, guys. I'm going to do the over-under win totals. I believe Michael Mann's going to help me with them. We'll get them up in like a week, 10 days. Still analyzing that. Also, new studio will be in play next year for YouTube, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting this money again, and I appreciate all the support you gave me last year. You guys are the best. Let's get this money. Everyone have a great off season and have a great fucking summer.